New week, new stream. Are you ready to relax? Yeah, I thought so. How about you just find yourself a nice little cozy reading nook, sit in a comfy chair, kick your feet up, and grab your favorite book, say, a tome full of terrible and horrible eldritch knowledge. Yeah, sounds relaxing.
From my research, it is apparent that the endeavors of mankind are mere puppetry at the hands of the ancients. Whenever a king vows reform, the ancients move quickly to stifle it. Under the auspices of Emperor Charlemagne the Frank, the new Holy Roman Empire was at the height of its power.
Hanc mit ad dominum et imperatorum nostrum, Carolum magnum Francum.
Deliver this to our Lord and Emperor Charlemagne the Frank. No one but him must see it. They are words for his eyes only. At once.
What sorcery is this? A spell? I am bewitched. If this was meant for Charlemagne, then what will become of him? I have to warn him of this treachery.
All right, before we get into the chapter proper, I do have two little fun facts for you and one technical thing. I'll tell you them now so that we don't break, the atmosphere and flow of the story once we get going in the chapter proper. First of all, the technical aspect. Hopefully you watching this, it's a little bit easier and nicer for you to watch. I noticed when I was editing Ellia's stuff, it seemed a little bit too dark, so I bumped the brightness up just a little bit. Actually, the same amount that I bumped my DVD recordings up. Because yes, it's called Eternal Darkness. It's a spooky, dark, oppressive atmosphere of a game. But it seemed like maybe it was a little too dark on your end. So I'm hoping that what you're seeing now is more akin to what I am seeing. So for instance, on this screen right here, I'm motioning with my hand as if you can see me doing it. When you're looking at that back wall, like not the part with the torches, obviously, because you can see that just fine, but those darkened alcoves, like here and over here, I'm hoping that for you now it looks, it won't just be like just black. It'll be, you can just barely make out the brickwork, because that's about what I can see. Like I can see the lines of it, but it's not like as nice, as the torch. So hopefully the brightness adjustment will make it a little bit nicer for you while still keeping, a spooky, dark atmosphere. All right, the other things I want to talk about, two little fun facts. First of all, now this is Anthony's chapter. Say hello to Anthony, voiced by the youngest sounding Cam Clark you have ever heard in your life. Like, we were talking about classic voice actresses, like, oh, we got Jennifer Hale over here, we got Richard Doyle over here. Well, here we have Cam Clark. I mean, you can't talk about classic voice actors and not mention Cam Clark. But it just is, it's kind of funny, because if you know anything about Cam Clark, he basically is always just his voice. So it's weird that they had him do, like, this baby-faced, oh, Charlemagne type of voice. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny to me. So there's your one Easter egg fact. The other one is during that cutscene when Anthony was like, okay, take the scroll from the monk, and we go over here, and then we're going to look at it. And he gets blasted with magic. Now, I never lied to you. You're like, oh, that's a great start. One of the things I said I like about this game is that the magic system you see in a cutscene, you watch it in a cutscene here, and when you get to gameplay over here, it's the same magic. Technically speaking, you can never cast the spell that he just got hit with, but that's not to say it still doesn't follow the rules. It is a 7-point spell made up of the same runes that you can get. It's just that if you cast it, it wouldn't do anything, which, you'll find out more about as the chapter and story goes on. Yeah, it's like a Zelotov, Enterbach, Aratok spell, which would do nothing for you as a protagonist. But those are runes that you can get and cast a spell. It's just that it won't do anything that when you do it. So it's just kind of fun that, like, even in this little cutscene, when you, like, a freeze frame, open the scroll, and you can see the runes in the circle, it's still following the logic of magic in this game. And so that's neat. I like it. Okay. Game face on, serious time. Let's start the chapter proper now, alright? Alright. Anthony's presence is questioned by the monks, feeling that he has trespassed upon sacred ground. The monk seems rather subdued, perhaps out of respect, or perhaps out of fear. After Anthony briefly describes his mission, the monk informs him that Charlemagne was last seen in an audience with the bishop in the visiting chamber. Well, that's easy enough then. Knock, knock. Muffled voices emanate from inside the bishop's visiting chamber. However, the door is locked and Anthony will need the bishop's key to enter and gain an audience with Charlemagne. Well, to be fair, that's not a bad deal. Like, you find a key and you get an audience with the head of the Holy Roman Empire? Like, alright. Sorry, Anthony, though, you do have to play your chapter. Visibly disturbed with grief and despair, the monk sobs pitifully. He recounts that this is not the only death to have occurred recently and wonders if perhaps the order is being punished for a wavering in faith. The monk informs Anthony that the order is awaiting the arrival of the bishop so that the funeral rites may begin. There's much grieving to do since this is not the only recent death among the order. You don't want to nah, you're busy praying, so... The monk cordially greets Anthony. However, he brings grave news of the loss of one of his order who fell from the tower to his death. His tone is guarded, leaving Anthony wondering if indeed that's the truth. Well, luckily we can find out, because we are the rudest person in history. A funeral casket made from unfinished wood, it's not properly sealed, could probably be open. Like, yes, this weird stuff just happened to you and you're investigating, so like, yeah, it makes sense. But like, who goes to a monastery and like, all the monks are like, oh, we're so sad for the death, and you're just like, here, I know, I'm gonna rip open the casket.
Oh my god, what is
What
it?
happened? This devil's work. We should get out of here.
You have proven what we have feared the most. This poor man has been the victim of great evil. Look how his body has been defiled, as if something has burst out from inside him. Here, take this for your protection. And find the bishop. He must be informed of this horrible discovery.
Anthony has acquired a Scramus axe. For all of you viewers wondering, what's a Scramus axe? Well, thankfully, the game will actually tell you. This Franken-Saxon weapon relies on a hefty blade to deliver deadly cutting and slashing attacks. It does not have a handguard as it was designed for offensive rather than defensive fighting. Cool. Oh, also, yeah, check the scroll. Message scrolls like this were often used to transfer messages. Strange diagram considering a pentagonal shape. Huh. Did I say it was... I thought it was a 7-point spell that I saw, not a pentagon. Whatever. When Anthony opened the scroll, something strange happened. Something had been intended for Charlemagne. Let's figure out what's going on. Well, I mean, at least we got the monks to leave. Like, can we leave with you? No, Anthony can't leave yet. Charlemagne must be warned. Well, that door's locked. This door's locked. Only one way to go. What's happening now? Ah, yes. Welcome to this place. Ellia. Hey, wait a minute. I recognize that name. I recognize that person. Pious Augustus. Remember when I told Pious this is your own fault when he was whomping on that statue? Yeah, that was a statue of him that ended up here. And where is here exactly? Why? The resting place of the Tome of Eternal Darkness. And what a lovely place it is, too. We got this skull and bone motif going here. As we get closer, we get more agonized screaming from the faces that we're stepping on. Yeah, wonderful place. Cradled in what appears to be a leathery hand lies a mysterious book. It is bound in human skin and intricately decorated with shrunken bones. It beckons and yearns to be possessed. And just like that, Anthony is caught up to speed with what happened with Pious and Ellia. Yeah, also the magic that hit him is, you know, doing bad stuff, but whatever. Not important. What's important is, if you're like, but wait, what all was that? Well, think about it. The Tome of Eternal Darkness has to get from person to person, right? And that's how it does it. You're like, well, why didn't we see this before? Because it was never needed before. Alex, you know, found it in her grandfather's house because it was in his secret study, so she just picked it up and started reading. Ellia, at the beginning of her chapter, had already had the book. Like, if you recall, when she was reading her book at the beginning, one thing like, oh, I wish something happened to me, that was the Tome of Eternal Darkness. She already had it. Pious never had it in the first place. So Anthony here is our first one that gets to get transported to that place. Blue urn rests upon the shelf. This urn has been glazed with a rich cobalt blue shellac, instilling it with an otherworldly spectral character. It has a strange sigil on the side. While fumbling around, the urn slips from Anthony's stiff fingers, dashing itself to fragments as it hits the floor. And then I get a broken urn, but we get our first magical rune. And I'll go over all this later once we have a little bit more stuff, because like right now, if I try to make runes, okay, there's that, and like new spell, you can't do it. So we'll get back to spell casting in just a little bit. Faint, warm sunlight filters into the room through these windows. Tiny dust motes drift, caught in the rays of the dying sun, fighting the growing shadow. Nothing there. Nothing there, but we have something here. A mysterious gold medallion. Now, I'm going to tell you about spell stuff later, but this is what I'm referring to, a circle of power. When I said stuff like, oh, that was like, if you saw the freeze frame bonus, it was a 7-point spell, blah, 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 or like, you know, the spells are the same between like cutscenes in the main game, but, you know, Pious there, when he was binding Mantorok, used a 9-point spell, which you'll never get. This is what I'm referring to, the circles of power. As you can see, this is a triangle. It has 3 points to it. You know, you will get a 5 and a 7. You'll never get a 9 like Pious did with Mantorok. So that's what I'm talking about when I say a blank point spell. Now you know. Nothing there. And over here we've got a bewildering array of books and tomes sorted neatly on a set of shelves, mostly books of a religious nature. They sit beneath a skein of dust as if no one has touched them. Well, that's great that your monks haven't touched the religious text. Amongst the tomes and manuscripts, a book brings attention to itself. Oddly pristine on the dusty shelf, it doesn't quite belong. Secret tunnel through the monastery. Hey, sir, I need that. I borrow a cup of magic from you. 4, 5. Just keep hitting him. Okay, fine, I'll cut off his limbs, I guess. There's the other one coming up, too, is the problem. There we go. You stop. Oh, yeah, here's the finishing move for the Scramasac. Wacha! Pretty awesome, pretty cool looking. Nope. Hi. Now I'm not gonna bother finishing that guy. We don't need perfect sanity. I just wanted to show off the move. Don't worry, sir, I'm coming. I mean, there might be like an army of zombies here, but I've got you covered. All right. Hi. Grateful for his life, the monk tells Anthony what happened. He was carrying a sacred urn from the baptismal font when he was confronted by the bishop, who was brandishing a large blade and whose eyes burned with an evil fire. Frightened, the monk dropped the urn out of shock and ran. Returning to retrieve the urn, he found only the sword the bishop had left behind. With thanks, he gives the bishop's sword to Anthony. Heck yes. The two-edged sword. Oh, baby. Heavy single-handed sword with 2 cutting edges is commonly known as a bastard sword or hand-and-a-half sword for the length of the hilt, which can fit in one hand with the other for support. Yep. And this makes things so much easier, because, I mean, it's a big-ass sword. Oh, and... okay, sure, torch. What I was going to say is finishing move. Yeah, I'm not sure what Anthony, like, was, like, as a job. I don't know, maybe just a career, but, like, he definitely knows his way around a weapon. Let's equip this. Actually, so just for your record, like, I say I've upped the brightness, but like this, for instance, is basically pitch black except for those torches. Like you're not supposed to be able to see right here unless you equip this. So that's not on your end. That is the game as dark. Broken green urn. More broken green urn. Yeah, we can mix them together. And we can mix that with this one to assemble a broken green urn, which, you know, because duh, like, if you take 3 broken pieces and just put them all in one pile, it doesn't fix it. Monk gambles around nervously, half expecting the demonic bishop to return at any moment. Would you like your torch? But no, okay. You're just gonna sit there. Fine. Well, let's try out the, yeah, oh yeah, I'll do that in a second. Let's get back. Magical rune. And then we'll pick this up. Magramore. Anthony's acquired a magical codex. So one of the things that I like about how the spell casting works in this game is you find these like runes, right? And you have like a circle of power. But you don't necessarily know what the runes are. Like, yes, we know that this is the symbol of Chaturga. We've seen it before, you and I, player and viewer. But, you know, Anthony here does not know that that's Chaturga. But, like, as you find these runes, like, okay, we've got something, we don't know what it is. We've got something, we don't know what it is or what it means. And then finally, it's like, but we found this codex that says, oh, this is Magramore, and that means item. So, that's already pretty cool. Like, you can find the stuff, but you don't necessarily know what it means. But more importantly than that is how the spell crafting works, which I'll do when there's not a bunch of bad guys, because, you know, otherwise I'll die. Well, not really, but... Okay, so yeah, the blue guy and the Mantorok zombie, they're not friends, they're keeping it out, so we'll just go to this guy over here. Mantorok gets knocked on his ass. Okay, come on, man. There we go. Red urn sits beside the fountain. A filled red urn. This urn has been glazed with a deep red shellac, giving it the sheen of a bloody heart recently torn from its host body. Strange sigil and foul-smelling fluid. In this. A disturbing rendition of a monstrous devil. It's contorted into what appears to be a fountain. What sickly liquid is this draining into the pool, trickling from a scum-encrusted spout? Well, I don't know. Here, let's pick this up. Acquired a magical codex. Now, I'm going to do this now instead of, like, going and finding the stuff coming back. A, so I can show you why I like the magic system, and B, less backtracking. But, okay. So we've got these, oops. Okay, aged tapestry soiled from the dank atmosphere. Well, now it's gone. So, spell list. Or runes. Okay, we've got this. We know it's Chaturga. We got this. It's called, you know, Magramore. It means item. And we've got this. We have no idea what it does. But the thing is, just because we don't know what it does doesn't mean we can't use it. So let's select a power level. 3-point, because we have to. Now you first select an alignment to one of the ancients, because that's what you have to do to power magic. And so the only one we have is Chaturga's, so we'll pick Chaturga. It's like, okay, yeah, we know Magramore means item. And then we have to fill in another spell slot. We don't know what this is, but that doesn't mean we can't use it. And look at that, just like that, we discovered spell 1. So, we don't know what this means, and we don't know what the spell is, but we're like, huh, this worked, this synergized on our magic circle, so now we have a spell. And in fact, let's cast it now, and when you cast a spell, like, okay, pick a power level, well, we only have the 1. Pick an alignment, we only have the 1. But now it's saying, please select an item to enchant. So we can take a guess as to what the spell might be. The item has been repaired. Oh, and then here's your magic meter. Spell list, cast it again. Fill it again. Repair it again, and now we can fill these. Dunking the urn in the foul-smelling fountain, it becomes filled to the brim with rank fluid. It's a lot heavier now and rife with fetor. Yeah, I just did this now to A, show you that you can craft... Wow, that item sound was really loud. But yeah, you can craft like magic spells even if you don't know what the runes you have mean or what the spell itself does. But you can craft it, you can cast it. And yeah, but you can find like codexes that will explain this stuff as you go. So it's pretty neat. Sir, come back here. We have a word, please. All right. So let's pick up this stuff first. Take that. Take that. All right, so I acquired the enchant item spell scroll. Oh. It's giving us more tutorial things. That allows you to cast, assign, okay, yeah. Check. Okay, to examine it, press okay. So a torn scroll illustrated with a geometric symbol is accompanied by a small note. The note reads, "That which is broken shall be fixed, that which is dull will be sharp. Thus is the nature of the enchant item magic. It requires Mantorok and Magrimore." Cool. And then, oh yeah, you can assign it. So you pick a power level, pick a alignment, and then you can give it a quick slot. So sure, we now have a level 3 Chaturga enchant item on our quick bar. So that's cool. Now, as it said, because before, we were testing it out, and we found that it fixed broken stuff, but it also says that it can enchant, sharpen that which is dull, so we can be like, Scramus Axe. And now, all of a sudden, we have an enchanted item. And it tells us there, our item is enchanted with Chaturga at level 3. And if we equip it, see, it's glowing red with the magic. It kind of growls with Chaturga's energy when we swing it around. But you're like, okay, well, now we have enchant magic. Let's enchant everything. Not necessarily. You don't necessarily want to. Or because the thing is that, as I said, this is sort of a rock, paper, scissors alignment between the ancients. I didn't need to step on that. Yeah, as it's showing us, you step on the thing, it does that, and then you get off and it closes. So let's use our surprise, surprise, you put the heavy water jugs on to open it. Great. Anyways, as I was saying, the elemental alignment means that, for instance, if you have a red enchanted sword, it's not going to be as good against our main opponent, Ulyaoth, who is blue, because blue is stronger than red. Now, if we had, say, a green enchanted sword, it would do a lot of damage to blue stuff. So it's like, yes, you can enchant everything, but you don't necessarily need to, because, you're not gonna, get anything, really, from enchanting your blade with red if you're fighting a blue zombie. Now, if we happen to find a green zombie, sure, red will be super effective, but that's also what I was telling you at the beginning, that it depends on, which ancient you pick the relic for, how easy, quote unquote, the game is, because one of the things that changes the order of your runes, and it's specifically, it changes the order of your alignment runes. You will always get the one weak against your, Pious's ancient first, then you will get Pious's ancient, and then you will get the one that's strong against it. It's always that order. So in our case, one of the reasons why blue is considered medium is the enemies explode, they, hurt, but we get the one for, physicality first, which means we don't have it yet, but we will get, when we can heal, we'll be able to heal health before anything else, so.
So, you have come to return my book. Very well then. For your efforts, I promise a quick and merciful death.
Your book. I found this tome in a haunted place, fair and square. Ow. Let's kill him. Hey, get off of me, sir. You know what? I don't need to have full sanity, but I'm gonna kill the bishop just because, screw that guy. Yeah, these zombies, you can chill over here by yourself. That's fine. Shrine to a god that bespeaks of an ancient evil that graced the earth before mankind walked its valleys. Here, You've looked better. That's all I'm saying, Anthony. You've looked better. Oh, hi. Hey. Yeah. Slice those dudes in half with my giant-ass sword. Alright, continuing back. Yes. Something wicked this way comes. Meet the Trapper. It's actually, you know, much nicer than DBD's Trapper. The Trapper dimension sprawls in every direction. Whilst in this place, magic cannot be casted. Humans are subjected to odd phenomena. The portals cycle from color to color as time progresses, and only the quick will escape. So, Trappers, like, they blow up, and they transport you to this sub-dimension. But the thing is, just because you get transported here is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's kill this guy. And forget you, guy. So for instance, hey, I went here because I know already, but like, let's take a look at our bars. Like, ooh, we're missing a lot of sanity, aren't we? Like, we're missing a little bit of health. We're not missing any magic. Well, we stepped on the green portal, and what does that do? Well, it takes us to this font of sanity. So when a Trapper explodes, you can end up here to like heal, which is pretty cool. Also, it's kind of funny, like only the quick will escape. Like, no, literally any path we took would have ended up here. But sure, you know, whatever. And now we're back again, right where the Trapper exploded and left us. Trapper has no eyes, he can sense sound very well. If Anthony can sneak past him, they won't be trouble. We can hear him like tippy-tapping around, so we'll just sneak. Oh yeah, so if you hear them, we were getting kind of close, so you hear that little cry. They're prepping to explode, but they haven't yet. We heard a Trapper, we could do it, but the other thing is we could do is run around it. It explodes again, like, we just filled up our sanity. But why stop there? Wait for it to cycle, wait for it to cycle. Come on, there we go. I said we were missing a little bit of health, let's get that too while we're at it. So yeah, Trappers, technically bad guys, but not always. I mean, yeah, it can be annoying if you're trying to, like, if you're really trying to, like, get to a puzzle, like, oh yeah, we're trying to save that monk and the Trapper came and exploded and, you know, got in our way. Sure, that can be a problem. But otherwise, not too bad. So there's the Trapper. You've met zombies and you've met Trappers. Aren't you happier for it? Let's just chop that dude in half. Because we have a really big-ass weapon. Ugh, it's all squelchy. How you doing, sir? Feeling any better? Amble's around nervous. What's to be nervous about? Come on, like, the bishop looked like, well, we just fought him, and, like, Anthony's coming up and checking on him, and he looks like that. Like, you know. It's fine. Okay, maybe it's not fine, but, like, you're just, you know, you came out of a Tim Burton film. Don't worry about it. Burn, baby, burn. Now, as you can tell from Anthony's skin condition here, and the fact that he's sort of, like, shambling along, yes, Anthony is turning into a zombie as the level progresses. Which I mentioned for, well, 2 reasons. The first happens to be right now. We met a Trapper. How would you like to meet a horror? Horrors are nasty. They're big, they got 3 heads, they hurt a lot, and they will do damage to, you know, whatever else. You know, like this dude's, I'll show you. He's got lightning, so yeah, he drains sanity like any other thing. He does a swipe. But then he also can, like, say, hits me, and then he hits me with lightning, which also drains my magic. Normally, these dudes are pretty scary. Like, you don't like to fight horrors. However, we got two things going for us. One, as I said, we're a zombie. If this guy kills us, quote-unquote, one more attack. Yeah, so if someone, quote-unquote, kills Anthony, Anthony won't actually die because he's already an undead. He's a zombie. The other thing is, we have a really big-ass sword that can one-shot the heads of the horde. So yeah, this guy is more of just a tutorial, like, hey, these guys are going to be appearing in the future. Oh, I just noticed there was blood dripping down the camera from our sanity effect. That's pretty funny. So yeah, horrors are scary, but for Anthony, oh, there it is. Like, you can see that blood on the wall. There's a sanity effect. Sanity effect number 2. Well, not kind of like, you know, the sound effects and the tilted camera. Yeah. Anthony is a zombie, that's what I was getting at. Which means that in his chapter, he cannot die. Because if you kill him, he just resurrects like a zombie. Now, if someone chopped off his head, who knows, like this, you know, would he disappear the way these guys do? I don't know. We'll never know. But you met the horror, and let me tell you, they get worse when you aren't invincible with a giant-ass sword to one-shot the heads. Bishop's Key. Let's check it first. Gold gem-encrusted Bishop's Key. Its form echoes the likeness of a bishop's scepter. This is the key to the bishop's room.
You are a fool for trying to save him, Anthony. His fate was decided many centuries ago, as is the fate of this world. Despite your faith, there is little to save you from the power of Ulyaoth.
Yeah, remember when it said, looks like something burst out of the guy? That would be a bone thief. Like, one of the worst enemies in this game, and I hate them. Luckily, we don't actually have to fight any yet. We just get to see one in a cutscene, but... ugh. Alright, so, before we continue on with Alex's thing, this is another thing I wanted to point out. The reason why I said Anthony was undead and you couldn't actually kill him in his chapter is because I want to admit I was wrong. And you're like, what? So, I think at least I said, I don't remember for certain, but during Ellia's chapter when I was talking about health, I might have said something about Pious not being able to die in his chapter. At least I thought it. I don't know if I said it or not, but that is incorrect. You know, 22 years later, I'm still learning new things about this game. I always thought it was Pious and Anthony that could never get killed. I mean, again, in chapters where there are enemies. Like, obviously, like, when Alex first starts the game, she's not going to be killed because there's no enemies there, right? But yeah, I was wrong. Pious actually can die in Chapter 1. It's just, like, it's never happened to me because, like, you either have to be really bad at the game or you have to, like, go out of your way to make it happen because, like, there's just a couple of weak Mantorok zombies and Pious has a lot of health. But yeah, he gets actually, not just can he be killed, he gets a fun little bonus game over screen because normally if someone dies, you know, it'd be like, oh, you know, Ellia failed to stop the coming darkness or whatever. Pious, of course, doesn't get that because there is no coming darkness. He hasn't claimed an artifact yet, so he gets a special little game over screen. So that's kind of neat. Alright, so what did we learn in Anthony's chapter that might help Alex here in the 21st century? Well, we got enchant item. So presumably we have to look around the mansion and find something to enchant. Help us get to the next page. Also, just as a quick note, since I see her looking around. Yeah, you get to actually see it a little bit better. The blood on the wall, just like we saw one little drip of it on Anthony's chapter, but now you get to see it more. Wall's looking a little bit, yeah, I'm sure it'll come out with bleach and paint. But, to that end, yes, Alex here has full health. Yes, she has full magic, because she's just been sitting around reading, but she does not have full sanity. You know, surprise, surprise, as you're reading the history of the world and all this eldritch shit going on in it, it's taking a toll on her psyche, you know? So Alex is going to start having sanity effects. Joy. One thing that's not a sanity effect, though, if you're like, wait, we started the video out there in the library, but now we're in here, like, at this chair, at the desk. Yeah, no matter where in the house you use the chapter for the next, you know, the next chapter in the book, Alex will always come to this desk and sit down to read it, so that's just how it works. Stop bleeding. Yeah, surprisingly, stabbing the wall is not stopping it from bleeding. That's... You see something interesting, do you? Right, it's probably more blood, right? You know, yeah, you can see it sort of in the top left there. It's bleeding just out of view of the camera. This is actually kind of what I was talking about with Pious. You know, when we were walking down the hallway and we saw Pious, like, he was in the brazier popped, and he's like, her? And, like, looked to the torch with the fire. One of the things that's really cool about this is not just that characters will react to their environment, but also that they react the same way to the things that aren't there, because it makes it so much creepier. Because, like, yeah, your character's going along, and, you know, she's looking over here at the grandfather clock, because we can investigate it. Like, oh, okay, cool. But Alex is also looking up at, like, the bleeding ceiling. And so your character is, you know, A, reacting to their environment and looking at stuff around them. That's cool, atmospheric. But even then, more to the point, is they are looking not just at the stuff that's there, like, when someone's, like, walking and they're like, huh? And turn to look at something, is that because there's something here to check? Is there an enemy around this corner? Or is it just a sanity effect? No, it's super neat. I like the way they do it, that they, you know, again, like here, she'll look up at that painting because it's, you know, a thing you can examine, but if you haven't been here before and she starts looking to the side, is it a painting? Is it an enemy? Or is she just going crazy? Yeah, here's where we read our chapter, you know, and we ended up in the room over the... Hello. We have a guest. Oh, that's creepy. I don't know how it's working on your guys' end with the sound, but it is a very three-dimensional sound. Like, right now, yeah, it kind of sounds here, but, like, when I go in here, it very much shifts to the right side of my headphones. So it's like, this is a sound coming directly from this area. It's just not around. Which I guess, you know, I've never really played this with headphones before, so that makes it spookier. I just maybe peed a little. It's okay. Anyway, enchant item. Some of you might be thinking, well, wait a minute. We have this, you know, like this thing over here. We tried it before and it didn't work. We can enchant item. Yes. But, you know, as the astute among you already know, this is a red spell. That is not a red sigil. So if we try and insert the blade now... Zoop. Alex places the blade in the slot. It feels, you know, puts back the magic. The blade does not fit the lock. So, we can't do anything with that. Like, well, what can we do? I can't tell if they're snoring or laughing, but either way, I'm not here for it. Goodbye, sir. I'm gonna just go this way. Bye. No. Oh, no. No, not that one, then. None of them. I hate this. I hate all of them. Okay, back to normal. Anyways, the problem is I accidentally metagamed. I know what I need to enchant, and I never showed you. That's my bad. What? What do you want? Yeah, that's what I thought. I should have tried this when we first were exploring around with Alex, but, you know, I just by default, because I played the game, I already knew not to. If you come up here and, you know, we have the second floor key, and if I tried to use it, it comes apart in the lock. Oh, it's broken. So, yes, I'm sure if you had seen that we had a broken key, you would have been like, oh, yeah, that's what you should use it. So that's my bad. I'm sorry. I just, by default, by memory, I was just like, okay, let's not bother going to the second floor because we can't do it yet earlier. So I'll try to be better about that and just check everything, even if I know it won't work. So a new area now. We're on the second floor. A serene painting of a luscious mountain valley delicately rendered in oils. Time has taken its toll on the surface, which is soiled with dirt and scratches. I mean, for this game, it's still alright looking. Son of a... You've probably seen it in other Sanity games, but yes, the statue turns its head to look at you. He's like, no, I'm not looking at nothing. Hey, buddy, eyes up here. That actually did kind of scare me. Not because I didn't know what was going to happen, but just because I wasn't expecting. Like, I just turned the corner and see movement, and I'm just like, ah! All right, well, let's look at the rest of the stuff. Okay, we got like a mountain over a lake. That's cool. We've got like a spiral over vegetation or something. I'm not sure what that one is. You'll also notice in here we have just a copious amount of, well, what's either blood or burn marks, or both. There's like the stuff right here. I'll like cast my magic, you can see it a little better. Not well, but a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Like, some of this stuff looks like the carpet has been burned or, like, chewed out, but then some of it definitely looks like blood. So that's just great. Okay, so what's this? We got, like, some guys. I think that's a noose above them. Going to a hanging. All right. 38 revolver ammo. That's great. You know, it's always good when a horror game gives you bullets. I know, Bird. I wish I was out there with you, but... Okay, creepy chanting. I prefer the other window, to be honest. All right, so this one's got the storms, you know, wave coming in, a ship up there. All right. Go there, and you'll notice right here. One of the drawers in the dresser curiously has no keyhole. In its place is a small triangular design flanked by a magical symbol. So yes, we have the dresser key, but, you know, we can't do anything with it because there's no keyhole. Alex questions the presence of a lush landscape amidst these other morbid pieces. Could it be a single ray of hope encircled by the encroaching darkness? Yeah, it's representative of you. You're the single ray of hope, Alex. Okay, what else we got? We've got something blinking. A page from the journal of Maximilian Roivas. And this is not a chapter, so you can see this is just a journal page. Everything that brightened my life now engulfed me in darkness. I fed on the light of truth, yet starved on the shadows of lies. I have learned through my lifetime, but no less than a newborn baby. Cool. Great. You know, we learned things. Okay, we can check this. Fucking shit. Yeah. That would be, the infamous bathtub scene. Congratulations, you just survived a, baptism by fire. And you, too, have been subjected to the bathtub. Yeah, fuck you. Ugh. Like, again, I know it's coming. That doesn't mean I didn't just shit myself, but... I mean, I guess the bathroom is the place to do that. If you're gonna shit yourself in the bathroom, I suppose. Stupid game. Not happy. Right. Ow. A chapter page has been hastily stashed behind the frame of the painting. Should I retrieve it? Yeah, sure, because I'm still trying to let my heart calm down. We're not gonna read it yet. We're not done exploring, although I kinda wish we were. An oddly proportioned painting of a man in somewhat Napoleonic garb, obviously an intentional exaggeration, gives the painting an oddly quirky. Hadn't examined for a second. A musty aroma hangs in the air, and a layer of fine dust lies on all surfaces of the room. It seems as if no one's been in here for a long time. It's almost like a museum. .38 revolver. Okay, picture. That's cool. Stop looking at the thing. I'm trying to leave. Examine. Oh, another picture. Okay. Thought I could examine the book. You know, nothing bad's happened when we've examined things so far. Nope. Nope. Goodbye. Nope. Still things to look at. We have to go this way. Too dark in here to do anything. Perhaps the circuit's been broken. You know that it's a problem in a game called Eternal Darkness when like it's too dark in here. Yeah, it's those paintings again. Let's do this just to look at the floor a little bit more. Oh. Yeah, that's another thing about magic. If you try and cast a spell, and you start moving, it fizzles out because you have to be standing still in the center of the circle of power. Right now, it's like, okay, well, whatever, like, just stand still. Sure, that's fine. That's all well and good. But think about, say, when you're being chased by monsters and you need a healing spell, it becomes more of a problem. Yeah, so we saw a ghost go through here. Wallpaper in this section of the hallway is oddly barred, as though the wall it sits on is not even with the rest of the room. Well, yeah, so there's an oddly marked place in the wall. We saw a fucking ghost go through it, and the carpet here is just... It's covered in blood. Like, that's so much blood. Oh, no. That... Stop that. The stained glass depicts a glowing medieval maiden, luminous even with the faint light of the setting sun. The maiden clasps a piece of parchment in her hands. The window gives Alex a strange feeling, almost as if it is magical and not really there. A glowing field of energy protects the window. I guess that sound effect was just because it's a force field of Ulyaoth, but no. Yeah, you get the bathtub, you get the ghost, you get that. Guess what I don't like? The answer is the upstairs. The upstairs is full of terrible things. So we're just gonna go back to our safety room and hide forever. Yeah, that'll do it for now. Again, I could just use the... Oh, great, now our ghost walker is over here. Get out of here, Ghost Walker. Oh, and now he followed me in here. That's... Meh. Anyway, yeah, I could have used this earlier, but I was going to give my little outro for the one episode before I continue on. But again, we did a chapter, we did an Alex, so now we will stop for now and then continue next time with The Gift of Forever. Now, I never lied to you, like, oh, that's a great start.